running out of room. Oh. Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a food stylist and I make a lot of gingerbread houses. Today I'm gonna make one from a kit, which I'm not sure I've ever actually done before. It looks like I have, I don't know, maybe 10 boxes here that are all different gingerbread house kits, and I'm gonna try to make one really awesome house using pieces from all over. Should I just start opening them and see? I feel like this one's pretty cool. All right, I guess this is the icing. This is gonna be a real wild card. Everything seems a lot smaller than I was thinking it would be. Oh no, this one's broken. Well, it's a good thing I wasn't gonna only use one. Oh, these are really little. Cool. This one seems like it's already put together. Wow. All right, so this is the one I'm gonna make. So right now I've got like all these pieces from a couple different boxes. I don't know, I guess I'm just gonna like put things together and see roughly what I can make. These are good. I only seem to have one of these. I don't know. These are the pieces that seem the most promising to me. They're also the pieces that aren't broken. I think I could have like a little extra add-on piece of a house that comes from these two things. I think it's time to just start decorating and then I'll figure it out later. Normally I would make royal icing from scratch and I'm kind of finicky about it, but they won't let me do that, so I'm gonna use what they give me in the kit. It seems really gummy. It'll probably be like the best royal icing I've ever used. Whenever you're working with a piping bag, you always want to like gather the top and then twist it, and that'll lock the icing in the top, because if you don't do that, it all comes out the other end. My go-to plan whenever I'm decorating a gingerbread house is to try to do as much of the icing decoration as possible before I even think about putting it together. That way I can work flat on the table and gravity is working with me rather than against me. This is just like a flat tip. I'm gonna make like a bigger line up across the top to look like rafters. The best way to get a straight line is to hold the bag a little bit above the cookie and just let the icing fall. So I think I'm gonna stop here for now and let these dry, and then when I put the whole house together, I can add more details and candy and things like that. I think this one is the one I'm gonna cut a doorway in and try to make a candy window. All right, let's see what happens. This was in the oven for about 5 minutes, 300. The candy sort of glued itself to the back, which is great. And then before I get started putting the house together, I'm just gonna pipe a little bit of frosting on this one to kind of match where I am with all the others. Okay, so I'm gonna try to figure out how to put this together now, which would be a lot easier if I knew what I was making. I need to trim this edge so it's a little shorter and also sits a little flatter. So I'm using a serrated knife to cut these because it's more like a saw. If I tried to use just a chef's knife, it would probably just crack the piece in half. All right, I'm just gonna start with this corner. So it's always good to start with a corner because they can kind of brace themselves. If you need to, you can use a T-pin as kind of a temporary structural support. You can kind of just wiggle it in. It actually usually goes in a lot easier than you might think. You don't have to go all the way in, just enough to hit the other piece. This piece is gonna end up in the front of the house, which is facing me right now. Front's gonna come like, it'll have that sound effect. This icing is working really well for glue. I have no idea what it's made out of. I'm gonna use this as a little extra support on the inside. This is obviously where the swimming pool goes. I feel like I'm gonna have to do some sort of a extra special roof job because I made it longer than it is than the roof pieces I have. The more work I can do on the corner, the better, because it'll all brace itself. Very important to light it. If I had been doing this from a blueprint, I probably would have had, well, first of all, I would have had one piece that fit the whole roof. And short of that, I probably would have figured out a way to make it symmetrical, but I don't feel like this is a symmetrical family. I've already invented a whole narrative for these people, and they built a lot of different additions, and they had a roof collapse one year because the snows were really bad. It's really hard to be a homeowner, especially in Bavaria. I think it's time to start making it look good. I said I was going to cobble together a house. Now I'm going to make it actually look good. Candy's art, bright and cheerful, and they're just going to sort of bring the whole thing to life. So I figured that these white gummies, I'm just using them as like drifts of snow, do all the big things that need to be filled in first, and then go back and do the details. Let's do a shrubbery. Marshmallows are great because they basically don't weigh anything. In general, I like things to be sort of asymmetrical but balanced. Most houses are symmetrical, so that's kind of a helpful way to start thinking about things. I think in this case, the quirkiness of this house is going to end up being what makes it charming, and so I don't really care that nothing's lined up perfectly and the back is completely different than the front. This is a Spanish tile roof, which is not typical of Bavarian architecture, but they went on a trip after the roof collapsed, yeah. Okay, so I think the last thing to sort of finish it off would be to go back and just take royal icing and pipe more over all the seams and cover anything that got messed up while I was working. And so the last thing I'm going to do is some icicles. Stick the piping bag straight up and down and just pull a little. Should we look at it from the front? It's pretty cute. I think clean up, do the pool, add some more little marshmallows just on the surface, and then it's good. To review, I think we've learned that you can make a pretty cool gingerbread house out of a kit, provided you buy a couple different types of houses and put them together. I think this family is going to be thrilled that they have a brand new Spanish tile roof on their Bavarian country home.
Great.